Anger. It's a powerful emotion that can ignite a fire within us, but if left unchecked, it can burn everything in its path. What if I told you that ancient wisdom holds the key to transforming that fire into a source of strength, clarity, and peace? As the great Buddha once wisely said, "You will not be punished for your anger, you will be punished by your anger." Today, we're diving into 8 life-changing lessons from the Buddha that will not only help you control your anger, but turn it into a powerful tool for growth. Ready to unlock the secrets of mastering your emotions? Let's begin. 1. Self-reflection is your superpower. Self-reflection is a key tool in managing anger. It involves looking inward to examine our thoughts and emotions. The Buddha taught that by understanding the true sources of our anger, often deeper issues like unmet expectations or past experiences, we can gain control over it. As the great Buddha once said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." This means our thoughts shape our emotions and actions. By regularly reflecting on these, we can identify triggers, address them at their root, and ultimately transform our anger into understanding and calm. 2. Don't allow the comments and attitudes of others to control your life. Anger often arises when we let the words and actions of others affect our inner peace. The Buddha taught that we should not give others the power to control our emotions. When we react impulsively to negativity, we hand over control of our happiness. Instead, by staying composed and not letting external comments dictate our feelings, we protect our well-being. As the great Buddha once said, "You will not be punished for your anger, you will be punished by your anger." This reminds us that the real harm comes from how we allow anger to impact our lives. By choosing not to react, we maintain our peace and control. 3. The core of anger. Beyond ignorance. At the heart of anger often lies ignorance, a lack of understanding of ourselves, others, or the situation at hand. The Buddha taught that anger frequently stems from misunderstandings or false assumptions. When we don't fully grasp a situation, we might react with anger because we feel threatened or frustrated. By seeking knowledge and clarity, we can dispel this ignorance. As the great Buddha once said, "An idea that is developed and put into action is more important than an idea that exists only as an idea." This means that taking the time to understand and learn can transform our perspective, reducing anger and promoting peace. 4. Acknowledge anger as a natural emotion. Anger is a natural human emotion, one that everyone experiences at some point. The Buddha taught that it's important not to deny or suppress our anger, but to acknowledge it as part of the human condition. When we recognize our anger without judgment, we take the first step towards managing it effectively. Denying or repressing anger can often lead to greater emotional turmoil, as these feelings may build up over time and eventually explode in unhealthy ways. By acknowledging anger, we allow ourselves to feel it without letting it dominate our thoughts or actions. This process involves observing our anger with a sense of curiosity and compassion, understanding why we feel this way, what triggered it, and what underlying needs or fears might be involved. As the great Buddha once said, "Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace." This quote emphasizes the power of acknowledging our emotions and responding thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. When we accept our anger, we can channel it into more constructive actions. For example, instead of lashing out, we might express our feelings through calm communication, physical activity, or creative outlets. Acknowledging anger as natural helps us avoid the trap of guilt or shame that often accompanies this emotion. Many people feel guilty for getting angry, believing it reflects poorly on their character. However, by recognizing that anger is a normal response to certain situations, we can approach it with a balanced mindset. This acceptance allows us to respond to anger in ways that are healthy and conducive to personal growth. By acknowledging anger, we gain control over it. We can then choose how to act, whether that means addressing the issue directly, taking time to cool off, or finding a peaceful resolution. This approach not only helps in diffusing the immediate situation, but also contributes to long-term emotional well-being. The practice of recognizing and accepting anger as a natural emotion is a vital step on the path to inner peace and harmony. When we acknowledge anger, we create space for deeper self-understanding. Anger often serves as a signal that something within us needs attention, whether it's an unmet need, a boundary being crossed, or a deeper emotional wound that requires healing. By paying attention to what our anger is trying to tell us, we can gain valuable insights into ourselves and our relationships. This self-awareness can lead to more meaningful personal growth and stronger connections with others. Acknowledging anger allows us to practice self-compassion. Instead of harshly criticizing ourselves for feeling angry, we can treat ourselves with kindness and understanding. We recognize that anger is simply a part of being human, and by embracing it without judgment, we take a crucial step toward healing and transformation. Over time, this practice of self-compassion can reduce the intensity and frequency of anger, leading to a more peaceful and balanced life. By acknowledging and understanding our anger, we can become more empathetic towards others. We realize that everyone experiences anger and that it's often rooted in pain or fear. This awareness can deepen our compassion for others and improve our ability to respond to them with patience and understanding, even in challenging situations. In this way, acknowledging anger not only benefits our own well-being, but also enhances our relationships and contributes to a more harmonious world. 5. Practice forgiveness to free yourself. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful and transformative practices we can embrace on the path to managing anger. The Buddha taught that holding on to anger and resentment is like carrying a heavy burden that weighs us down and prevents us from moving forward. When we refuse to forgive, we allow the actions or words of others to continue harming us long after the initial offense. Forgiveness, therefore, is not just about the other person. It is primarily about freeing ourselves from the chains of bitterness and anger. As the great Buddha once said, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. This profound insight highlights the self-destructive nature of anger and resentment. When we cling to these negative emotions, we are the ones who suffer. Our minds become consumed with thoughts of revenge, justice, or what could have been done differently. This mental turmoil can lead to stress, anxiety, and even physical health problems, as our bodies respond to the ongoing emotional strain. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is a conscious choice to release this burden. It doesn't mean condoning the actions that caused us harm, nor does it mean forgetting what happened. Instead, forgiveness is about acknowledging the pain and deciding not to let it control our lives any longer. It's about choosing peace over conflict and healing over hurt. Through forgiveness, we reclaim our power and take back control of our emotional well-being. The process of forgiveness can be challenging, especially when the hurt runs deep. It may require time, reflection, and perhaps even repeated efforts before we can truly let go. The Buddha understood this difficulty, which is why he emphasized the importance of compassion, both towards others and ourselves. By cultivating compassion, we can begin to see the humanity in those who have wronged us, recognizing that they, too, are imperfect beings who may act out of their own pain or ignorance. Forgiveness can be an act of profound self-compassion. When we forgive, we are not only releasing the other person from our anger, but we are also releasing ourselves from the ongoing suffering that anger brings. This act of self-compassion is crucial for our own healing and growth. It allows us to move past the hurt and focus on building a future that is not defined by past wrongs. Forgiveness also opens the door to reconciliation, whether with others or within ourselves. Sometimes the person we need to forgive the most is ourselves, perhaps for mistakes we've made, opportunities we've missed, or for allowing ourselves to be hurt. Self-forgiveness is a powerful act of liberation, freeing us from guilt and shame and allowing us to move forward with a lighter heart. As we forgive ourselves, we become more capable of extending that same grace to others, fostering healthier and more compassionate relationships. Practicing forgiveness can lead to a deeper understanding of the nature of suffering. The Buddha taught that all beings experience suffering in some form, and that this shared experience can be a source of empathy and connection. When we forgive, we tap into this universal truth, recognizing that everyone, including ourselves, is on a journey of growth and healing. This understanding can soften our hearts, making it easier to forgive and to let go of the anger that keeps us locked in suffering. Forgiveness is also an essential component of inner peace. By letting go of anger and resentment, we create space for peace, love, and joy to enter our lives. The energy that was once consumed by negative emotions can now be directed towards positive pursuits, such as personal growth, relationships, and creativity. This shift not only enhances our own well-being, but also radiates outwards, contributing to a more peaceful and harmonious world. Forgiveness is a gift we give to ourselves. It is a powerful tool that allows us to break free from the cycle of anger and hurt, and to move towards a life of greater peace, compassion, and joy. The Buddha's teachings remind us that while the journey of forgiveness may be difficult, it is also one of the most rewarding paths we can take. By practicing forgiveness, we open our hearts to healing and transformation, freeing ourselves from the past and embracing the present with a sense of peace and possibility. 6. Use mindfulness to channel your anger. Mindfulness is one of the most effective tools for managing and transforming anger. The Buddha taught that mindfulness, the practice of being fully present and aware of our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings, can help us observe our emotions without becoming overwhelmed by them. When we practice mindfulness, we develop the ability to notice anger as it arises, rather than being swept away by it. This awareness creates a space between the emotion and our response, allowing us to choose how we want to act instead of reacting impulsively. As the great Buddha once said, "Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." This quote captures the essence of mindfulness. By focusing on the present moment, we free ourselves from the regrets of the past and the anxieties of the future, two common triggers of anger. When we are fully present, we can experience our emotions without letting them dictate our actions. Mindfulness teaches us to observe our anger, understand its source, and then decide on a thoughtful and measured response. One of the key aspects of mindfulness is non-judgmental awareness. This means observing our anger without labeling it as good or bad, but simply acknowledging that it is there. This approach can be incredibly liberating because it allows us to accept our feelings without adding layers of guilt or shame. Instead of thinking, "I shouldn't be angry," we learn to say, "I am feeling angry right now, and that's okay." This acceptance is the first step towards managing our anger constructively. Mindfulness also encourages us to explore the physical sensations that accompany anger. Often, anger manifests in our bodies as tension, a racing heart, or shallow breathing. By bringing our attention to these sensations, we can start to calm ourselves physically, which in turn helps to calm our minds. Techniques such as deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, or even mindful walking can be powerful ways to dissipate the physical energy of anger before it spirals out of control. Another powerful aspect of mindfulness is its ability to reveal the underlying thoughts and beliefs that fuel our anger. Through mindful observation, we might notice that our anger is often tied to thoughts like, "This is unfair," or "I'm not being respected." By recognizing these thought patterns, we can begin to challenge them. Are these thoughts really true? Are there alternative ways to view the situation? This kind of inquiry can help us to shift our perspective, reducing the intensity of our anger. Mindfulness helps us to recognize that our emotions, including anger, are transient. They arise, stay for a while, and then pass away. This understanding can be incredibly empowering because it reminds us that we don't have to act on every feeling that comes up. We can simply observe it, knowing that it will eventually fade. This realization can prevent us from making hasty decisions or saying things in the heat of the moment that we might later regret. Mindfulness also fosters empathy and compassion, both towards ourselves and others. When we are mindful, we are more likely to recognize the suffering that underlies our anger and the anger of others. This awareness can soften our hearts, making it easier to respond with kindness rather than aggression. We start to see that everyone is doing the best they can with the tools they have, and that often anger is a cry for help or a sign of inner pain. Mindfulness encourages us to stay connected to our values, even when we are angry. It helps us to remember what is truly important to us, whether that's maintaining healthy relationships, acting with integrity, or preserving our peace of mind. By staying grounded in our values, we are less likely to be swayed by fleeting emotions and more likely to respond in ways that align with our true selves. The practice of mindfulness can lead to long-term changes in how we relate to anger. Over time, as we become more skilled at observing and managing our emotions, we may find that anger arises less frequently and with less intensity. We might become more patient, more understanding, and more resilient in the face of challenges. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent practice, mindfulness can fundamentally change our relationship with anger, leading to a more peaceful and balanced life. Using mindfulness to channel anger is not about suppressing or ignoring our emotions. Rather, it is about embracing them with awareness and compassion, and choosing to respond in ways that promote peace and understanding. The Buddha's teachings remind us that by staying present and mindful, we can transform anger from a destructive force into an opportunity for growth and healing. 7. Elevate your life with the power of gratitude. Gratitude is a transformative force that has the power to elevate every aspect of our lives, including our ability to manage anger. The Buddha emphasized the importance of gratitude as a means of shifting our focus from what we lack or what has gone wrong, to appreciating the abundance and goodness that already exists in our lives. When we practice gratitude, we cultivate a mindset of contentment and positivity, which can significantly reduce feelings of anger and resentment. Anger often arises from a sense of lack or a feeling that something has been taken from us, whether it's our time, respect, or a cherished opportunity. When we're caught up in these negative emotions, it's easy to lose sight of the many blessings we still have. The Buddha's teachings encourage us to regularly reflect on the positive aspects of our lives, no matter how small they may seem. This practice of gratitude helps to reframe our perspective, allowing us to see the bigger picture and recognize that our lives are filled with moments of joy, love, and connection. As the great Buddha once said, "Let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. So let us all be thankful." This quote beautifully captures the essence of gratitude. It's about finding something to be thankful for in every situation, even in our challenges. When we make a conscious effort to appreciate the good in our lives, we create a buffer against anger. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong or what we wish had happened differently, we focus on what we have to be grateful for, which fosters a sense of inner peace and resilience. Gratitude also has a profound effect on our relationships. When we express gratitude towards others, it strengthens our connections and fosters a sense of mutual respect and appreciation. This positive dynamic can prevent misunderstandings and conflicts from escalating into anger. By regularly acknowledging the kindness, support, and efforts of those around us, we create an environment where anger has less room to take root. Instead, our relationships are nourished by appreciation and understanding, leading to greater harmony and less conflict. Practicing gratitude can lead to significant changes in our mental and emotional health. Numerous studies have shown that people who regularly practice gratitude experience lower levels of stress, anxiety, and depression. This is because gratitude shifts our focus away from negative thoughts and feelings, promoting a more positive and optimistic outlook on life. When we're less burdened by stress and negativity, we're less likely to react with anger when things don't go our way. Instead, we approach challenges with a calmer, more balanced mindset. Gratitude also encourages us to live in the present moment. Anger often stems from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, whether it's holding on to past grievances or fearing that something will go wrong. The practice of gratitude, however, anchors us in the present. It reminds us to appreciate what we have right now, rather than fixating on what we lack or what might happen. This focus on the present can diminish the intensity of our anger as we become more mindful of the good that surrounds us in each moment. Gratitude can be a powerful tool for self-compassion. Often, we are our own harshest critics, which can lead to anger directed inward. By practicing gratitude towards ourselves, acknowledging our strengths, efforts, and achievements, we can soften this inner criticism and replace it with kindness and understanding. This self-compassion reduces the likelihood of turning our frustrations inward, helping us maintain a more balanced and forgiving attitude towards ourselves. Gratitude is also closely linked to the concept of abundance. When we focus on what we're grateful for, we recognize the richness of our lives. This sense of abundance can counteract the feelings of scarcity that often fuel anger. Instead of feeling that something is missing or that we've been deprived, we realize that we have enough and that we are enough. This shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating, freeing us from the need to compare ourselves to others or to constantly strive for more. The practice of gratitude fosters a sense of humility. It reminds us that much of what we have, whether it's our health, relationships, or opportunities, is a result of contributions from others and the world around us. This awareness can reduce the sense of entitlement that often leads to anger when our expectations are not met. Instead, we approach life with a sense of appreciation and acceptance, which can help us navigate disappointments and challenges with grace. 8. Strengthen self-control for a more balanced life. Self-control is a cornerstone of emotional intelligence and personal growth, playing a crucial role in managing anger and maintaining a balanced life. The Buddha taught that developing self-control is not about suppressing our emotions or desires, but about cultivating the wisdom and discipline to respond to life's challenges in a thoughtful and measured way. In a world full of distractions and provocations, strengthening self-control is key to navigating life with grace and resilience. At its core, self-control is the ability to regulate our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors in the face of temptations, impulses, or stress. When it comes to anger, self-control helps us pause before reacting, giving us the space to choose a response that aligns with our values rather than being driven by raw emotion. The Buddha emphasized that by mastering our minds, we can prevent negative emotions like anger from controlling us. As the great Buddha once said, "It is a man's own mind, not his enemy or foe, that lures him to evil ways." This insight reminds us that our true challenges often lie within, and that self-control is the key to overcoming them. Strengthening self-control begins with self-awareness. By regularly reflecting on our thoughts and actions, we can identify patterns and triggers that lead to anger. This awareness is the first step towards change, as it allows us to catch ourselves before we fall into old habits. For example, if we notice that certain situations or people tend to provoke us, we can prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally, deciding in advance how we want to respond. This proactive approach can help us maintain our composure and avoid the regrets that often follow impulsive reactions. Self-control is closely tied to mindfulness, the practice of being fully present and aware of our experiences without judgment. Mindfulness helps us observe our emotions as they arise, without immediately acting on them. When we're mindful, we can acknowledge our anger without letting it dictate our behavior. This gives us the opportunity to choose a more constructive response, such as taking a deep breath, stepping away from the situation, or communicating our feelings calmly. Over time, mindfulness and self-control reinforce each other, creating a powerful cycle of awareness and intentionality. Another important aspect of self-control is patience. The Buddha often spoke of patience as a virtue that protects us from the harm of anger and other destructive emotions. Patience is the ability to endure difficult situations without losing our cool, to wait for the right moment to act, or to accept that some things are beyond our control. When we practice patience, we allow ourselves the time and space to process our emotions and to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. This not only helps in managing anger, but also contributes to overall mental and emotional well-being. Self-control also involves setting boundaries, both with ourselves and with others. This means recognizing our limits and not putting ourselves in situations that are likely to trigger anger or other negative emotions. It also means being assertive in communicating our needs and expectations and not allowing others to push us beyond our comfort zones. By setting and respecting boundaries, we protect our emotional health and reduce the likelihood of situations escalating into anger. Discipline is another key component of self-control. Discipline is the practice of consistently making choices that align with our long-term goals and values, even when it's difficult. When it comes to managing anger, discipline might involve regular practices like meditation, journaling, or physical exercise, all of which can help regulate emotions and build resilience. It might also involve avoiding known triggers, seeking support from friends or mentors, or practicing techniques like deep breathing or visualization to calm the mind. Through discipline, we strengthen our ability to choose how we respond to challenges rather than being driven by immediate emotional reactions. Self-control is closely linked to the concept of delayed gratification, the ability to resist the temptation of an immediate reward in favor of a larger, long-term benefit. In the context of anger, this might mean resisting the urge to lash out in the moment, knowing that doing so would only create more problems in the long run. Instead, we might choose to take a step back, cool down, and address the issue when we're feeling more balanced and clear-headed. This ability to delay gratification not only helps in managing anger, but also in achieving greater success and satisfaction in various areas of life. Building self-control is a gradual process, one that requires practice and persistence. It's important to be patient with ourselves as we develop this skill, recognizing that setbacks are a natural part of the journey. The Buddha's teachings remind us that every effort we make towards greater self-control is a step towards a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Over time, as we strengthen our self-control, we find that we are less reactive, more resilient, and better equipped to handle the ups and downs of life with equanimity. Self-control contributes to a more balanced life by helping us maintain harmony in our relationships. When we can control our anger and other strong emotions, we are better able to communicate effectively, resolve conflicts peacefully, and build stronger, more positive connections with others. This not only enhances our personal and professional relationships, but also contributes to our overall happiness and well-being. Self-control is the foundation of a balanced and fulfilling life. It empowers us to navigate challenges with wisdom and grace, to maintain our inner peace amidst external chaos, and to build a life that reflects our highest values and aspirations. The Buddha's teachings on self-control remind us that while the journey may be challenging, the rewards are profound. Greater peace, happiness, and harmony, both within ourselves and in our relationships with others. As we've journeyed through these 8 Buddha lessons on controlling anger, it's clear that managing this powerful emotion is not about suppressing it, but transforming it. Each lesson, from self-reflection to strengthening self-control, offers a unique path towards greater peace and understanding. The Buddha's wisdom reminds us that anger is a natural part of being human, but it doesn't have to control us. By practicing mindfulness, compassion, gratitude, and forgiveness, we can navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. Remember, the path to mastering anger is a lifelong journey, one that requires patience, persistence, and self-compassion. As you integrate these teachings into your daily life, you'll find that not only does your anger diminish, but your overall sense of peace and well-being increases. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the Buddha's timeless wisdom. We hope these lessons inspire you to approach life with a calmer mind and a more open heart. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with others who may benefit from these teachings. Until next time, may you find peace in every step of your journey.